Let's
Hello.
go.
Francis, tell us the win.
Okay, so we're starting with wins, and I'm gonna share mine because it's crazy and it's also like so random. So we've been going to the markets, you guys know this, and we've been there for months now, like probably I don't know how long, but it's been a while. And we've been slowly getting leads for like Kangen machines. And the other day, or not the other day, a few months ago, we had this couple stop by our tent and they were like super interested in the water. They were like, we really want one. We want more information. And then it was like they were gonna get it. And then they went on like a vacation and like a cruise. And then just recently, he was like, but he was always very, his name's Jerry, super cool guy. He was always very vocal about like, hey, I'll get back to you in January, or I'll get back to you, like we'll be back at the beginning of February, and I'll definitely like text you because we really want a machine. So they came back from their vacation and they were like, "Hey, are you guys still at the Kangen like booth on Saturdays?" And we're like, "Yeah, we kind of like switched it up. We're tallow things now." But we're still there. Like if you want to come ask questions or whatever, like you're more than welcome. So they came by this past weekend and not this past weekend, but like last weekend. And they were like, "Hey, super tan, just got back from the Bahamas." Like they're the coolest couple. And they were like, "Yeah." And so for sales, okay, I just want to preface this. Garrett and I have been diving really into like mentorship, and the people like our partners in Tallow and things are mentors, and they have taught us scripts, like sales scripts. And so we've been practicing them, and one of them is the usually script. So this is like prime information, and you probably already kind of know this to share, but like also Nettie too. But when you're having a conversation with somebody one-on-one, what we've learned is like spitting things out, like spitting all the information out on them, even over like text, is not the way to go. You want to get them on a call. You've taught me this,
Right.
Shara, too.
Yeah.
And so, like, wording it to get them on a call is the best thing. Anyways, they come here and we used our usually script, which is usually what we do is get on a call, or usually what we do is we schedule a call that's best for you. We go over your health goals, we go over a little bit about the company, and then we go over which machines and which one would be the best fit for you. And then it's like, what date would be the best. It's like our part would take 30 minutes, and then you don't have to buy anything, but if you want, you can, we'll help you get whatever you'd like. And it sets the tone to where it's all about them, and then, we are still like being of service. And so we used that usually script and then got on a call. Garrett actually used the script that we do on calls and killed it and made a sale, and we made $700.
Oh my
That's
God.
so freaking bomb.
That
Yeah.
is so
And
cool.
also, guys, he sold them a multi-pure filter as well.
Amazing.
Look at
So
that.
two sales. That's his
Let's
first
go.
sale,
Let's
like
go.
Boom. Go
ever.
big or go home.
And so I'm like, wow, the stars are aligning. But it's so cool when you use like the scripts and things like that. Like it just really works,
Yeah.
shit really falls in line. So I was like, okay, like just winging it is no longer
We're no longer
the way to
available for
go.
that.
Like we actually have to do things like in the right way. So that's my win. Thank you for listening.
Oh
Oh
my
my God, that is so cool. And yeah, like the scripts thing, like I don't know. When I first started, I always was like, a script that sounds so robotic and like,
Same.
yeah, like it disingenuine, but
Hmm.
it's a guide. You know, obviously you don't have to do verbatim, but like
Yeah.
it's
Hmm.
a guide to help you bring the lead through. And like you
Yes.
said, of being of service. Because if we don't have a direction ourselves, how are we supposed to bring them through?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like you said, usually this is what we do. These are the steps. And then you bring them along those steps. And then it just makes a lot more sense. So it's like we are guiding ourselves through the script. And it's just,
Yeah.
it is a game changer for sure.
I felt like robotic as well because just the scripts, I'm just like, dude, like that's so salesy. Like I literally was like, that's salesy to use a script. But it's like we'll get into this later because the delusional topic, like when you practice and practice and practice and repeat, like it just becomes natural, and there's like something that happens internally that I'm excited to share about. I saw a video on it earlier, so yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think what's cool about what you shared is that like sales doesn't have to be like, oh, you're trying to trick them into something. It's literally like the way you approach it is just being of service, and then they
Mhm.
made a decision.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I
And that,
really thought was cool.
yeah, that's the main shift, I think, when like that people have to make when they get into sales. You are in sales. Point blank
Mhm.
period, you're in sales. However,
Mhm.
it's not, let me push this product on you. Let me push you into something you don't want to do. Let me push, push, push. It's not about that. It's
Mhm.
about you came to me
Mhm.
because you were interested in the product or you were interested in starting a business. And I'm educating you on what the process looks like so that I can
Yeah.
bring you through it and see if it's actually for you. If it's not,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Now you know it's
Mhm.
not. But if it is, it could be the catalyst to change your life.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the
Okay.
being of service part that, like, yeah. So I'm so excited for
I'm
you.
so
I
excited
know.
too.
Thank
That's
you,
so
lady. I mean,
cool.
Congratulations. Is
I
Garrett
would.
there?
Yeah,
Shout out
he's here.
Garrett.
He's like texting,
Congratulations.
or he's in the back, but he's like I was like, honey, that is the best thing. He's like, oh, I gotta work on my clothes. Like I gotta work on. I'm like, you sold the machine, like
You
you
did the
closed it, babe.
thing,
Like
sir.
he
Yeah.
did so good. I'm so proud of him. And it's just like a quick, like, thank you, Jesus. That is a quick $700 that we just made. Like
That's so
just
cool.
in
Wow.
30 minutes.
I was just
Like
gonna say, like, how long was the call?
30 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally, I
Yeah.
ran to Publix and he was done when I got back. And he's like, "They're ordering it now." I was like, "Freaking
The
solid."
uncapped,
Okay.
the uncapped potential, guys.
Yeah.
That
Going
is so
from,
cool.
hey, you're only worth, $22 an hour to, do you know what I mean? What that does to like time is saying
Mhm.
like in 30 minutes you can close a sale that your revenue is $700. Like it's just such a shift when you start when what is it? When your income is no longer linear, it's just, do you know what I mean? Like it's not this amount of time equals this. And like most of us, right? Most of us, we obviously we're all functioning that way, but it is such a shift when you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, my time isn't only, I'm not limited to 40 hours, what I can make in 40 hours. Like that is nuts.
So cool.
It's
So
dope.
freaking cool. That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, share your wins. I need to hear wins.
So
So
I have like a small little win, just from like kind of just, stepping away from my career, having to make that decision because of my health, and just kind of reaching out to my mentor for both the filtration and Kangen, and just kind of deciding settling in, reaching out to her to get things started and settling in with, okay, there's a lot to learn, but it's time to go. That's my little one.
I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Wait, so have you decided to go through Deshera, or are you reaching out to your upline?
So Deshir and I chatted, and basically, like, because I already have a mentor for the filtration, I kind of reach out to her to get that started.
Oh,
But
awesome. Okay.
to buy additional products to then fall under Deshira, just right now where we are with me not working, just kind of trying to let the dust settle and talking to my husband. I'm like, okay, how are we going to make this work on one income? Like, what is it going to look
Mhm.
like? Or is there other work I can do that's not so agitating while I build my business? So as soon as I feel like that's settled and things are like, more figured out, then making the switch.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that. And the reaching out, that's like a big step. Just literally being like, okay, I'm gonna be reaching out for accountability, like,
Exactly.
So it's like you reached out, and that's like the of service, kind of falls back to the of service. Like now she's gonna be
I
like,
know.
all right,
I'm
let's
pretty excited just because she's exceptional at what she does.
Mhm.
So just the
yes.
fact that I'm already connected to her feels like a big win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and it is. And it's like you have direct access to her.
Hmm.
Whereas like a lot of people now, they're like a couple steps down
Hmm.
and they don't have direct access to her. So that
Mhm.
it is an
It's a gold mine
for
because
sure.
of like just her sales experience, her ability to close. Like there's no way that's not gonna fall over to the other side, to the Kongan side, to the ionization side. Like it just, you know what I mean? So
Exactly.
Right,
yeah,
right. And these
yeah,
these companies work so, I
hand in
mean,
hand.
It's like they were birthed for each other.
together.
Literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
um, so yeah, I'm very excited to see your journey continue to unravel. Um, for me, just a small win. There's a few, but yeah, just the last week I did like this speaking challenge.
Oh yeah, I saw you go live.
Your reintroduction.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
listening to it. I was like, get
Right?
it, girl.
Right.
Okay, I felt so I've done that before. I mean, I haven't done a reintroduction live, and so that was scary. And of course, I had like my little notes, so I was like looking over and like because when I go to talking, I could just be I mean, it would be like 30 minutes and
Mm-hmm.
nobody would watch it.
Yeah, that's
So I
me.
was like, keep it concise. So I have to have my notes. And then meanwhile, like baby was sleeping and then he woke up like midway and I was like, oh,
Like, well,
hurry
this
up.
is real life. Yeah.
But yeah, it felt really good. So it was a 3-day challenge. And the first day, that was like our homework is just to go live, reintroduce yourself and why you're doing this, whatever. The second day, and this was more of like getting you to speak on stages. And so it kind of, I was trying to use it to apply to like,
Applicable to what you're
to
doing,
what we do in like our business. But the day 2 and 3 was kind of tough because it was like make a list of like stages you want to speak on. And I was just thinking like I want to speak on the Imagine stage. Like I want to be one of those people where I get
Yeah.
invited and like I even had at one point at this was when I was working, like when I had my 9 to 5. And I was on lunch and I don't know what came over me. Maybe I was listening to a podcast or something, but I envisioned myself being on that stage of speaking and telling my story and like how I would open. And I literally have it in my notes.
Wow.
I have it in my notes.
That's
So I'm like,
I
that's
love
powerful.
going to
that
be
so
so
much.
exciting one day when I get on that stage and I'm going to be like, let me pull up this because this
Right.
was when I was like, had this dream when I was at my 9 to 5. And like, I just think it would be really cool,
A
really
vision.
powerful.
It wasn't even a dream. It's just a vision, like of
Yeah.
what you're gonna be. That's so cool.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, the speaking challenge was really cool because it's just, it's just reminding me of like, take up space, like
Mhm.
what you have to say matters and don't stay silent. And it's something that like I've worked on for years now because
Mhm.
that is something that I've like the good girl syndrome, like be quiet, don't make waves, like
Mhm.
avoid
Oh my gosh.
confrontation and all that. And so now I'm like trying to step in this, especially as a mom. You have to advocate for your kids, you have to advocate for yourself, and like to just step up and be able to articulate to your audience or to whoever you're speaking to. I think it's just a really cool skill to have. So it was nice to do that.
Yeah.
But
To put yourself out there too, like that falls into the Delulu. Like, okay, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, we have a topic that is just like can go on, and it's really just what you have to be like to in order to start your business, and that's delusional. Like you you can't like walk into the next day and be like a perfected saleswoman and like making sales, making money. Like it's not an overnight success. And for the people that make it look that way, there was, and Nettie says this before, like a lot of work that they had to go through before and or are still going through. And with that being said, like if you're not a good public speaker or you're shy about getting on social media or getting out there and being in sales in general, like putting your face out there, you have to be willing to fail to in order to do it first. Like you have to be willing to be like, okay, I'm just gonna look like an idiot and just pretend like I know what I'm doing, and then I'll learn. And like that's the only way you'll learn because like for instance, I was having this conversation with my mom this morning. It was so good. Um, there's a lot of like family stuff going on and she is just like really having a hard time with her mindset
Mm.
and like, just money mindset actually. Like, oh, that's too expensive. That's too like blah blah blah. And we were talking about vibrational frequencies. We were talking about like how everything has a frequency, and if you're like constantly penny pinching or you're constantly like, I don't have that, I can't afford that, I'm not this, I'm not that, like you're putting your words are powerful. So, like, whatever you're saying or thinking, you're reaffirming that lie or belief that you've been taught, told, like, experienced. And it just goes forward and just continues, like, rolling like a ball. And
Mhm.
so we were talking about just lost my train of thought, but how, like, when you're speaking, you have to be so mindful of what you're saying. Like your subconscious is constantly trying to sabotage you with what it's been programmed. And it's
Yeah.
like, in order to start a business, it's like, I can't do that. It's like, okay, whatever you just said is going to be the truth because
Mhm.
you believe that. Like, and there's either that side or like, I can learn how. And then
Mhm.
you go that way.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
And I
Yeah, I
just thought,
think it's, oh, go ahead,
no,
Nettie.
no, go, go.
Oh, I was gonna say like I it's kind of like Google. You
Yes.
type in something like whatever you want to look up. You're gonna be like, oh, how can I blah blah blah. Or show, a lot of people look up scam stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
Google is gonna show you whatever you are looking for.
Yes.
It's going to show you the evidence that you typed in. So, and that's how our brains work. And so flipping your perspective, switching it up to be able to change your situation, you have to type in a different question. So instead of like, you know, do people fail at this? Yes. You're going to see all
Yes.
the evidence to prove that people fail at this.
Mm-hmm.
How can I not fail at it?
Succeed.
Or like, how can
Yeah.
I succeed in this business? Or whatever. Like, better questions.
Mhm.
But you get the idea. Um, And it's like once you plug that into your brain is going to actively seek out how you can be successful. And that is those are those little breadcrumbs that you have to keep following. You have to keep like, it's like a string, you're tying this knot, then you tie this
The
knot, you
evidence
tie this knot.
Mhm.
start flowing in,
Yes.
the
And little
evidence.
by little, you're going to keep seeing the evidence. And
You know
that
what?
is why, that's how like people say, when you think these thoughts, you got to be a little delulu because when you can envision this and you are delusional,
When there is no evidence,
yet
Mhm.
when there is no
when
evidence,
you're convinced
yeah,
of X, Y, and Z, when there is no evidence, that's the gold.
yeah,
Mhm.
because
Because then
then
you
your
are officially
brain
reprogramming your brain to say, okay, it's like
let's look
reverse
for it.
engineering. We
Mhm.
see the big
Yes,
picture, we know it's factual. Now, how do we get there?
yeah. And
I
like
love it.
it's so powerful because like you said, Francis, like you were talking to your mom about this, and I think like I mean, I've talked to multiple family members like this, and it's like the generations before us, oh my God, their money
Yeah.
We're
mindset
undoing some things,
is
ladies.
intense.
Yeah.
It's intense. And I think like one, becoming aware of it is first and foremost,
Mhm.
like the words that we use. And when I started this business, this is when I was pretty much introduced to like going on this personal development journey. Um, because I noticed that I had a lot of limiting beliefs. One was I'm not good at sales, first and
Mhm.
foremost. So I had to break through that multiple times. Um, the second was, yeah, my money mindset, like the investment alone. That was like a block for me for a long time. But I knew I had to do it. And then, like, yeah, I just started doing this personal development stuff. And I was like, wow, like, the words that I was using. I used the word broke
Yeah.
so much. The word abundance was not even in my vocabulary.
Me too.
And
Okay. Like,
I made that active switch of of like, being on, some of the community calls that we've been on is like, holy crap, like a lot of these people are talking about prosperity, abundance, and like being positive and gratitude and all this stuff. And I was like I
What does
came
that
from a
Start cleaning
background
up
where it's
here.
Yeah.
like
I gotta do a little cleanup.
I gotta do a little cleanup.
What wild, Shara, you saying that is like I feel so similar. And in the beginning of my journey, like in the beginning of anybody's journey who starts where you have to start, it feels foreign. Like it feels foreign. Those words are foreign. Abundant was not in my vocabulary either. I was like, what the like I feel
What
like
does that
this is
mean?
the weirdest. What is that word? I didn't even know what it meant. Gratitude. Didn't even know how that felt. Like, like I never actually sat and thanked like, wow, I'm in a house like with air conditioning or I have my RV my like I'm breathing, like little things like I took for granted and it's like all of that stuff was foreign to me until I realized, like, damn, like, there's a lot to be grateful for, and I am very abundant already. Like, my
Yeah,
life is abundant already. And so moving forward, like, abundance is just flowing towards me. And it's like, I didn't understand that. And it's so crazy because you will never understand it. And it will always be foreign until you keep practicing it and until you keep, like, literally just making that your reality, because I use the word broke. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
Even the word crazy. I need to stop using that. Actually, you know what's funny? This is super random. Sorry if you can hear Harper banging something. Okay. Um, this weekend we met somebody at the market and it was a awesome, like she's a wellness coach. And she was like, you know what I've replaced with the word crazy is that's amazingly normal. Like she has a whole purse that says that is amazingly normal. And she's like, when people are like, oh my God, that's so crazy. Like, I can't believe that happened to me. And it's like you're projecting what you like into the world. You didn't think that would happen to you. Why? Because you don't feel worthy? Why? Because you don't like
Basically normal. I
right.
love
Like that's
that.
so amazingly normal. I
I'm
was like,
gonna
wait,
steal that.
that's a new one.
This is just amazingly normal for
I'm
me.
gonna try that.
I love it.
Literally. I was like, okay, wait, I love that.
We're gonna win the lottery. This is amazingly normal. Just does. I
Yeah.
win it all the time. Like,
Mhm.
I love that.
And see, that's a part of being a little delulu. You gotta turn it up a
No.
notch because
Mhm.
once you follow that, it's gonna start like projecting out into your reality, and then you're gonna be like, look at that, look at what
Look
happened.
at that.
That's
I think that's
amazingly
one of my
normal.
favorite parts about this business is like, okay, so just there's no income claims here. This is a disclaimer. This is not an income claim. We have people all over our business that make $30,000 months, $50,000 months. Some
A
have been in the
hundred
business
thousand
for 10
dollar
years.
days.
Some have
Yeah.
been in the business for 2 years. And you're like, I'm sorry, what? Like, there
Yeah.
are waitresses that have become millionaires through our business model. It just is. There are people that have been in this business for 10 years and they only make 3 grand a month. It just, there's such a crazy spectrum. But what I've experienced from just not even being active in the business, just consuming information throughout the years because I just wasn't ready until now. But it's crazy to me how when I hear people making 20K a month, it's normalized in my brain. My
Hmm.
nervous system is calm, completely calm when I hear
Mm.
what someone would say is an outrageous number. I feel I
Wow.
feel completely like, yeah, that's do you know what I
Sounds
mean?
right.
Like if
Hmm.
you interacted with someone at work and said, hey, like my friend is, making $20,000 selling coffee water machines, they're like, that's a scam. That's not true. Da 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 da. And to us, and I can speak for myself and just say like my nervous system is completely calm and just accepts that as normal.
As
Yeah.
amazingly
That's become
normal.
normal to me. You know what
Amazingly.
that does to your brain when those numbers become normal?
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
wait. Like it's weird because I know this, but it's because it's become so normal that I didn't even put those two together of like before. A $3,000 month,
Trigger
that
for
was
me.
almost unobtainable.
That's
Mhm.
not, you
Three
have to be
thousand
born
dollars.
into that. Daddy has to give you a company. I don't know what has to happen, but it's not available to me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
now it is so, yeah, it's fact, it's true. It just is. In my world, it's available to me. I have access to this business. Do you know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's happened to you guys as well. I'm not sure what numbers you guys are comfortable with, but like it just happens when that's who you're surrounded with. We're hearing trainings from people that are millionaires, people that I've met in person when they were, a waitress, or they were my health coach, actually. One of the people that are millionaires in our business right now. I hired her as a health coach when we lived in Hawaii, and now she's a multimillionaire. And I'm like it just the level of delusional goes to another level when you surround yourself with that becomes
Yeah.
Mhm.
normal to you. And
Yeah.
then do you know what that does for your like just your progress or your growth? It just accelerates times 10. You're going faster because your
Yeah.
nervous system doesn't have to acclimate to all these things. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
And you're
Yeah.
able to see it to believe it too. Like that having those people around you, like you're seeing it. It's easier to believe. And that's also like, I've been in this business 4 years. And when I'm like, we are all the same way, but like I'm so much different from when I started. Like so much different. My goals are so much different. My mindset is so much different. Like the way that I view money, that I view sales and sales in general. I'm not just in it for me anymore. I'm in it to actually help people. And that's what's crazy is because initially, like, I was in it for myself, and that's not selfish,
Nope.
even though I thought it was. I went through a period where I was like feeling selfish because I was in this for myself.
No, it's
But
real.
when
It's
you
real.
are, when-
Most people get into
You
this
gotta take care of you before you can
for
take care
them.
of other people. It's true.
Exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's the thing that I was lacking wasn't just money, it was mindset, it was like mind tools, everything alongside being wealthy, being abundant in all aspects. And so, with that being said, like I was just in it for myself, but also just like, okay, what can I get out of this? What can I get out of this? What can I get out of this? Instead of being like, what do I need to learn from this? What can I change from this? Like when when I switched that, it wasn't like a quick like light switch. It was literally just progressional, like things coming my way. I was like, wow, I just learned so much through that. Like, and I was not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so
Yes.
great. It's so amazingly normal. It's amazingly normal, guys.
The growth that happens in this business, even if you were not to make a cent from it, it changes you to your core.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's why like so many people in this business specifically, but also just entrepreneurship as a whole, it's like you hear it time and time again. It's 80% like mindset, 20% business. Because
20% strategy. Yeah,
right,
80% is
because
what is
that you
going
can
on in your
learn.
brain.
That's the part you can learn along the way. You can build those skills along the way. It's just like being, on the job training. It's literally the same thing. You're on the job, you're training, you're like an apprentice essentially.
Mm.
But if you are applying all of these strategies, but your mindset is just so negative and
If
so
you're in
lack,
scarcity,
yes, and scarcity,
there's
you're
not enough, there's not enough trainings to help you.
yeah, like it's not
It's
going
just,
to work. It might work maybe a couple of times, but it's not going to be sustainable. And that's like, man, that shift. And again, coming back to like the money mindset, it's like something that really helped me. So I've invested thousands of dollars into like life coaches and
Mm.
mindset coaches because this was the area that I needed to work on the most. Like forget all the skills and stuff, like that's going to come. I need to get here, and I need to get here, and I need to align it so that I can actually put those skills to use. But it was like in these courses that I was taking, they always talked about like imagine money being a person
Mm.
and you being in a relationship with this person. What does that look like? Are you a naggy person in the relationship? Are you a needy, clingy person who cannot stand on your own 2 feet without them? You all know, like, if you've ever been in a relationship like that, it is not healthy.
It's not the vibe.
And then the other person, being money, they're gonna be like, ugh, you're like really clingy, like I can't do this anymore.
You're desperate.
And that, yeah, you're desperate. Like I can't, this is not healthy for me. I have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where it's like, once I sat back and I was like, wow, like what does my relationship actually look like with money? It's like, it's kind of like this, I don't know, like almost disbelief that I was worthy of even having a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I came from not a lot. My family, they, yeah, like my mom always said, we are P-O, because we can't even afford the other O and the R. Have you ever heard that term?
Yes,
No.
I have.
I've always heard.
I'm laughing because I have.
That's wild. We are po because we
We're
can't.
po. We can't even afford the other 2 letters. That's how broke we are. That was the running program for me in my childhood.
And that's where
my mom
that's
was
where it starts, right? What are we told?
yeah. Like what
Because
are we told?
our
How
parents
are we?
frantic around money, then we
Yeah.
feel frantic around money.
But it also was like she was also very giving. Anytime she came into money, she would give it away. So it was creating this like it is that ebb and flow of money is coming and going, but
do you feel worthy of holding it?
yeah,
Of having it?
and creating more
Yeah.
to where if you give away, you're not just giving your last.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's where it was almost like a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're sacrificing yourself so that you can give your last.
Right.
And that's also not healthy because, I mean, where's the balance, And you're always going to be caught in this scarcity because you're operating from scarcity.
Yeah.
And it was just like diving so deep into that, like, wow. Like I was like, damn, I really do say broke. I really do say I'm poor. I really do say that's expensive. And all of these were just clues of like, okay, we really got to reframe. We got to take, like, I told myself, I'm taking, and I told my husband this too. I was like, we have to eliminate the word broke from our vocabulary. From now on, we're not going to say it. And if we do, like by accident, because it's not just like you flip a switch and then it's all good. You have to practice it. But it's like becoming aware of that was like, oh my God, I just said it. Whoa, like that's crazy. And now broke is not in my vocabulary. And when I hear it, it's like a light, like it's like a red flag. It is an instant red flag. I'm just like,
me too. When I hear these words,
they gotta work
I'm like, or I see a parent in the grocery store yelling at their kid that we can't afford that, And I'm not saying get your kid everything in the world if you can't afford it. There's a way to reframe that so your kid isn't like, oh my gosh, everything is unattainable for us.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so crazy because I keep saying crazy now, but it goes back to our call with Nikki and how she was saying setting anchors and things like that. I feel like throughout this journey, throughout the mindset work, through this journey, we kind of set those anchors in, like there's different types of anchors, and that anchor, like she said, it's like a light bulb switch. Like when I hear my mom talk, for instance, family talk around me, again, they're all in that scarcity mindset, and just like she's always penny pinching, she's like looking for a deal or looking for like buy one, get one free, whatever. And it's like, not to say that those are bad, and I'm not judging, for somebody who gets excited over those, but at the same time, it's literally about how you view it. Like I was trying to explain to her, I was like, life is like a river, right? I was like, and you being like, I don't have this, I can't get this, I can't afford this, I don't have enough money for this, is literally like you going against the river the whole time. I was like, life is going to feel so much harder if you're walking against the river. Like, it's just going to naturally going to be a lot harder. I was like, but imagine if you turned around and you're like, damn, it's a lot easier the other way if I just walk with the flow. and you're like, the flow of things is there's no resistance. Like, okay, there's a rock that comes up. Okay, how can I go about this rock? I can go around it. Like, you don't have to like go up against the stream in order to get around this rock. Like, you can just
Right.
float around it, And that's exactly the analogy of life and money and your relationship with things. Like, if there is any resistance at all, it is because that thing probably isn't right for you. Or if like, and that should be said with a take grain of salt, because in this business, when you start, you're going to maybe feel resistance because you're going to not understand the mindset tools and things that you like, it's all foreign to you.
Right.
And that's things that you're just going to have to learn. And like naturally, your subconscious is like, whoa, that's not what we were taught. That's not what you were told. That's not what we learned and experienced when we were 7 years old, 12 years old, 15 years old. Like, that's not true. And that's
And
your.
I think that's the resistance of it's a scam. It's too good to be true.
Mhm.
It can possibly be, is because of the resistance of what we've been programmed to understand and think.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, it's so cool because this, like, the journey of entrepreneurship, especially like health and wellness. Like, I'm so grateful that I got into Kangen water when I did, and not just any other like network marketing company, because Kangen water is what truly has helped me look from the inside out, like like health and wealth really do align. And you can only be wealthy if you're healthy. And if you're healthy, you have to be putting the right things in your body, but you also have to be saying the right things in your mind and reaffirming and like believing in yourself, having faith. Like, I didn't even know what half of those words, I didn't know what it meant to have faith. I didn't know what it meant to be abundant. I didn't know what it meant to have and feel gratitude. I was just like, okay, I am like doing all these things until I realized, like, oh, it's not something I have to like run after. I don't have to run after abundance. I don't have to run after like being grateful. I just have to be. Like, that's kind of another thing, is like you feel like you have to work so hard. I thought I had to work so hard to be abundant, but that's literally the quite opposite, you know? It's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's another thing too, is like a lot of us were raised to, if we want a lot of money, we have to work hard. That is a huge belief. And it's like that, what's another one is like, if you're rich, then you're evil, or you're selfish, or you're not a good person, or, like all of this. It's like, oh, the rich get richer. And then
And your mind will find evidence of that. You're going to find the millionaire on TV who scam people. If you say
right.
the opposite, then you can find someone who is just giving, like for me, the thing that hit me, like from one of the books I was reading is just like, you can't, like, money isn't good or bad. Money just amplifies who you already are, right? So if you're just a
Yes.
generous human like your mom and she has more money, guess what? She'll do good things with that money. We need more money in the hands of good people.
And actually, come to think of that, when she was like, she had a really, I'll say, a really good stretch of having like a lot of money. She
Mhm.
was able to pay off her debt. She was able to gift me 5 grand,
Yeah.
which actually I ended up using that towards investing in this business.
Yeah. That's what I
And
mean. I'm like, we
it's
want we want good people to have a lot of money because it
right,
only does good things. Like,
right. And in order to do that, you really do, you kind of, you go on the growth journey, you invest in your health, you uh-oh, Francis got
yeah, I
disconnected.
know. I just messaged her. Did you fall off?
um but yeah, it is, it's, whew, getting getting more money in the hands of good people, like you said, it's just going to amplify that. And at the end of the day, it's just all energy. And to realize that, it just changes the game.
It really does. Because like the whole like, oh, I don't want more money, more problems. That's what we hear all the time. More money,
That's
I
so
don't want
big.
more money. It means more taxes are gonna be taken out of my money. People are gonna hate me because of my nice car. Like all these things that are just like default for people because honestly, like the media portrays that a lot of it. I see
Yes.
it in like even
Oh
like
my God.
cartoons. Like I saw some cartoon my daughter was watching and I was like, it says something negative about money. I was like, oh, we don't watch that one anymore. I was
Oh,
like,
Wait a minute.
unavailable for that.
get
Like, we're
unavailable.
not doing
Turn
that.
off. That
Wait,
is
that's so good.
that's so true. Like
Yeah.
yeah, it pounds like not okay. Take the parental aspect of it, the generational, limiting beliefs. Take that out of it. Our media, what we're exposed to on a daily basis
Mm.
is absolute and even okay, because I came from the banking world.
Mm.
This was something that I act like almost all the time heard was like, so when you have more money, you get more benefits with the bank. So, if you have a certain amount of money, then you don't have to pay for the fee of the checking account. You just get it for free. It's waived. But if you don't, then you have to pay these monthly fees.
Mhm.
And it's like, why are they charging less rich people when the rich people have more money to pay for this stuff? So that it creates that division, it creates that angst against rich people. And it's like, it's like, yes, I get that, I see that, and yeah, it is what it is, but like, it's just,
I
we're
need to
taught
interject.
this.
I have to interject here because
Yeah.
people see the disconnection between, where you are versus where they are. Yeah, I feel like it creates animosity toward having that much or people that have that much. And what do you think and that therefore energetically it's making it unavailable to you. If you see rich people as bad, evil, ill-intentioned, it's making it unavailable to you because you don't want to be a bad person
Or
Yeah.
privilege.
or privileged.
I mean, yeah, it is like, we're all privileged to some degree, but yeah, it is like, oh, you have money, you're a trust fund baby, you're a this, you're a that.
Yeah, what's the new
You didn't
term?
have to work for
Nepo
it.
baby? Nepo baby?
Mm.
That's something they're throwing in the media all the time right now. Any child of a rich, celebrity or person that has a lot of money, oh, they're just a Nepo baby. So now everyone's talking shit because, oh, you were born into wealth. Damn. I'm sorry I was
Yeah.
born. Like, what do you
Yeah.
It's not my fault.
It's
Like
like,
that's
what did
negativity
those
toward them
parents
because
do?
they were born into, something easier. But who the hell doesn't want their kid to be born into a situation with opportunities?
Mm.
I'm not trying to grow money to flash it around. Money equals opportunity. Who the hell doesn't want their kid to have 1,000,001 opportunities? I have never met anyone who says, I do not want my child to have every opportunity in the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm. Yeah, it's so wild because my brain just blanked there right now. That's so
There's just
crazy.
so much to this topic, right? Like we're programmed to not want it. Then we hate the people that have like it's all this stuff that is like, no, let's just undo that so that we can get up there and do good things with money. Let's
Yeah.
go. Like
Mm-hmm.
I know that every single one of us, if we had a ton of money, we would do good things with it. Period.
Yeah.
And it's also, so this comes from, I'm going to drop a book because
Okay.
there's a couple, but
Okay.
one is called Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. And in that book, it really was literally like the title, Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. That
Reading, guys.
there you
Currently
go.
Love that.
feed your brain this stuff.
And that is the shift of not, oh, they have it all. They were separate. I'm working. I have to work hard for everything that I have to live paycheck to paycheck, all these things running, these programs running in my brain constantly. It's, you know what? What are they doing that I'm not? What are they doing that I'm missing? That our whole class, our financial class is missing? The education. That's what we're missing. That's what we were never taught. And that's what we have to tap into. We have to
That's why we
educate
have to
ourselves.
teach ourselves. We have
Yes.
to teach ourselves so we can teach our kids. So after every chapter of this book, he says, you know, for example, your declarations are, I am bigger than any of my problems. I can handle any problems. I have a millionaire mind. Like, you're literally reprogramming. That's me. That's the way I think now. We are, you know, like, it's just, yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it's
I need to
also
read this book. I've never read it.
so
it's so good. Like,
Yeah.
I want to reread it again. I mean,
Yeah.
I have it on
This
Audible.
one, this page right here. This is one of the chapters, whatever. Rich people are excellent receivers. Poor people are poor receivers.
Okay, that's something that I also noticed. So I'll say a couple of things because like there's so
This could be
money
forever and ever. Like,
mindset
you gotta be
is
mindful of the
so,
time, but please.
yeah,
Yeah.
right. It's a huge thing to receive, to practice receiving. And this was also, I'm so glad that you mentioned this because that was another thing that for me personally, I had to make that shift. So even down to when somebody compliments you, you don't even think that would have anything to do with money, but it has everything to do with just receiving, period. And when you can practice your receiving, gosh, it opens up a world because like when somebody compliments you, you almost want to deflect by either giving them bless you, baby, by giving a compliment back, but not fully receiving it and being like, oh yeah, my hair is kind of crazy today, but thank you. It's kind of like you didn't receive them. They were giving something to you, and it's like you just said no thanks.
Yeah, you were like, here's it back.
How
Yeah.
rude is that?
Mhm.
And then on another thing too, when somebody wants to give you something, that is them wanting to express their joy. They are like, okay, think about how you feel when you give to somebody. That feels good. It feels genuinely good. And so when you try to give something and somebody says no thank you, then you're kind of like, you go into this weird thing of like, no, take it. And they're like, no, take it. No. And it just, that doesn't feel good. Just fucking take it. Just say thank you. But that was
true.
Me. I was like, once I became aware of that, I was like, okay, I'm going to practice receiving.
Yes.
Especially as women.
Oh my gosh.
Especially as women. And we could dive way deep into that because we are not taught to just openly receive, and we are givers.
We're conditioned as
we're
givers.
nurturers. We're, and we're constantly.
That's how I got all these health issues.
Yeah.
I thought I could do.
Give, but you cannot give from an empty cup. But it's like, so that was something for me, is like anytime somebody compliments me, I will just say thank you. Even if I don't feel it myself, I will just say thank you because they are trying to be nice. They're trying to be, yes.
Absorb it. Yep.
Practice your receiving.
I love it.
This is something now that like I kind of joke about, but also I'm very serious about with family. Like I told my husband too, because he's that type. He's such a giver that he wants to take care of his people. But when it comes time for them to take care of him, he's almost like, no, it's okay. It's okay. Like, I know it's going to be hard on you, whatever the story is.
Yep.
And I would tell him, babe, practice your receiving. This is a good thing. They want to give that to you.
Say that about your husband. I had to do the same thing with my husband. He'll give until there's nothing left. And his friends, was offering to do something for him. He's like, no, like just kind of panicking. I'm like, sir, we are receiving. You are not blocking our abundance in this family, sir. I was like, you are going to do whatever that man wanted to do for you, your friend. Okay. So I have to do the same thing. I'm like, our vibration, we're keeping it high. You're just blocking our...
Right. Excuse me, sir. We are not going to be blocking our blessings.
We're blocking these low vibration cartoons. We're accepting everything that comes up. You know what I mean? Like, no, we're keeping the vibrations high here.
We're not blocking it off. That's so funny though too, because like you said, if you can't practice that receiving, then you're always gonna have that like block. It's literally gonna be a wall
Like money
between
wants to come in, and you're like,
yes.
no,
Hold
Yeah,
on. No. Yeah.
exactly. You're like, no,
what?
no, thank you. No,
Don't
that's okay.
block in cash flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
ready?
here's another thing. And this actually in that book, it does mention this too. It talks about even just finding, so we all want more money. When you ask for more money, and then what, you're walking on the sidewalk and you see a penny, that's more money.
Yep.
But what, you choose not to pick it up because it's a penny?
Mm-hmm.
You pick it up and you say thank you,
Yeah.
because that is practicing your receiving. If it's a penny, if it's $1, if it's $100,
Yep.
it's all the same energetically. And
Mhm.
that is the difference, is people will say, oh, it's just a penny, I don't need to pick that up. It's like, that's money, that's more
Yeah.
money, and your brain does not know the difference because it's
Yep.
energy. And you picking it up and you saying, oh my god, thank you for this, this
Mhm.
is really cool, I found a penny today.
Mhm.
You internalize that, and yes, sure, call it a little delulu, whatever, but you gotta be to receive this abundance and prosperity in your life.
Yeah.
And the moment you do that, like it starts to become fun.
Yeah.
And you start
It
to
really
now be
does.
like, oh, what else can I find on my walk? And it's
Yeah.
like now your brain is seeking
Yes.
these things. I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, how else can I receive today?
Mhm.
And that, when you unlock that, again, game
So
changer.
powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like oh my goodness. The receiving end when you are sorry. Okay, I keep like going pause. My brain is not working right now.
No worries.
Yeah,
But this
it'll come back to me.
yeah, no, it'll come back. But yeah, no, I think this is such a topic where, I want to be checking on our time, because it is such it's a huge topic with so many sub, categories that affect us.
Layers.
That
Yeah.
people just, I promise you, if we just even like we could do an entire podcast every day about this, because
It's just
people just aren't aware. They're not aware of the shifts they can make. And it's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, like you said, like there are subcategories of, like, one, practice receiving, two, your language around money, your relationship with money, like normalizing investing, and investing into yourself, not just investing like money wise, but that also comes into the play too of, like, how are the rich staying richer? They
or
invest in
even
assets instead of
and
liabilities. They make their money work for them
They
instead
use
of
other
working for
people's
money.
money to make money.
Right.
You
And
know?
I think,
and
like,
even getting like groceries, guys. Like when we go to the grocery store and you spend $80, right? Like my old mindset, and it's even something that like we still have to practice. It's like, and it's a constant practice, but not being like, damn, like I just spent $80 on groceries. Like that's a lot of money, for this week, and it's gonna last me this whatever. And it's like that vibration or whatever it is, that energy that you're putting towards that is showing that you're not grateful that you even had the $80 to spend in the first place. Like, or you even had that in the first place. And then it goes into, okay, now you're not grateful for this food and you feel like you spent a lot of money on it and you're putting all this bad energy on your food kind of thing. And it's so wild because when you have the money to be able to spend in the first place, like you should be grateful. And it's
Right.
just like you have to practice that gratitude of being like, wow, at least I have this. And it like truthfully being able to say, I am grateful that I have a roof over my head. I am grateful that I have been able to pay my car payment this month, or I was able to pay my electric this month. Like little things like that. It's so like it's just you don't think of it, and because you always want more, or you're in like and that just produces that lack mindset of like, well, I want more, and if I had more, I could do this, and like,
Then I would be happy.
mm, yeah,
Then I would be happy.
mm-hmm,
When really, do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
happiness now. And
yeah,
the happier you are, the higher your vibration, and then you're calling in the money.
yeah.
I don't think people understand that energetic part either.
I'm
It's
glad.
like it's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the be, do, have. Like you have to be the person in order to do the thing, in order to have the thing. And a lot of people see it as like, oh, I have to do, be, have. Like I have to do the thing, work really hard to be the person that gets more money in order to have more money. And it's like that's completely opposite. You don't have to go do that action first. You just have to first be the person like of abundance, of gratitude, of like you have to be the person first in order to do it and then have it. You know what I'm saying?
It comes down
That's
to um and by being, it's actually tapping into like who you are. What do I identify with? And
Mm,
that's why it comes down to the limiting the beliefs, the mindset shifts. Because when you can shift those perspectives and rewrite those beliefs and kind of unlearn all of this stuff, then you can be the person that has these things, that can have
yeah.
things. And it, again, like you said in the beginning, Francis, is like flowing with that river. The resistance dissipates
Mm,
yep.
because now you're going with the current and you can maneuver a lot easier through life. Whereas a lot of us are going through life against the current. And
mm.
really, all you gotta, once you realize, holy shit, I can just turn around and float down this river,
Yeah,
you know,
for
like
real.
Exactly.
it's not rapids anymore. It's actually a lazy river, and I can chill and actually enjoy this life experience.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I'm so glad that you said the grocery part because it's so prevalent these days, especially like with the economy and just inflation. It's amazingly normal.
Mm-hmm.
But it is like shifting into that, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck right now in this reality, you are still paying your bills. So
Mm-hmm.
whatever your bills are that you can pay, be thankful for that. Oh my God, I can't believe, like, thank God that I'm able to pay for my rent. So I have a house, I have a roof over my head. Thank God that I can do that. Thank God that I can go to the grocery store and buy these groceries.
Mm.
And when you continue with that, it's such a powerful thing because gratitude, if you can't do anything else, you can always find something to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that ties into like depression and feeling lost, feeling like, because and take this as you will, but and I think you guys will understand, but like and I've heard this from Myron Golden. I'm just going to quote him, but if you are depressed, you are too worried about yourself and you are being selfish, which will come off like offensive to some people, and I'm okay with that because and I'll explain. When you are depressed, because I have been there before, you are only focusing on what you don't have or how you don't make other people feel. Like the focus is on you. Like me, I feel like crap. I don't feel good. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel this. I like people don't like hanging around me because I'm this and I'm not this. It's literally like the finger is pointed at you. And then you're like, you're not looking at anything that you're grateful for because it's like everything around you. You have like a support system over here, you have family over here, whatever it is. And you're not even looking that way because you're so focused on what you don't have or what you don't feel, which is happiness or like, feeling like not depressed. Right. And I was like, holy shit, you know, I was being selfish when I was depressed and not feeling good and feeling down. And yes, we are women. Our hormones go up and over, but it's like I've realized when I'm so focused on myself, the more that I focus on myself and what I like and the way that I feel and the way that I, like what I don't have, what I lack, what I need more of, like the more I feel like shit and the more I keep spiraling down to like I don't feel happy. But the more I actually like focus on other people, putting my intentions out there, putting like, networking and being of service and being grateful for what I have. Like I have this blanket. I'm freezing. Thank God I got a blanket, like little things like that. It's like once I start doing that, I'm like, "Oh, I'm actually like kind of being like a kid right now, like a child, you know? It's wild." Like,
It's funny that you just said that because you know what? You know what's so common in children is their delusion.
mm-hmm,
Delusion,
mm-hmm.
they can be astronauts and the president and Batman all in the same wave.
Day. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know
and
what?
they don't see any wrong with that. They
I
just know.
I feel okay. Let's maybe we can end it ish on this, whatever. But as kids, we're encouraged to be delusional. It's good, it's good, it's good, it's good, and then there comes a point where we're told we're always pushed down. Like if you put on your Facebook, I'm starting a new business, people are gonna chop you down. They're gonna be like, "Ooh, isn't that too risky? Why don't you go to, guaranteed college degree or whatever that ends up never getting you a job?" You know what I mean? So like it's just crazy
That's
how like
actually not guaranteed.
Yeah.
exactly. It used
Right.
to be so encouraged. And this thing that used to be so encouraged is so like it's just squashed as an adult.
Yeah.
And it's
Mm-hmm.
really unfortunate.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's one
I
thing
mean,
I'm
it
gonna
is that.
I'm raising Delulu kids over here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
you know,
Shoot
And
high,
that's the one thing too.
shoot for the moon, and if you miss, that is okay.
Yeah.
But you will land amongst the stars.
yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that comes from. And it's like, I think that's where a lot of people have that disconnect is like, oh, but what if I fail? But what if you don't?
Yeah.
What if, or what if you do?
Mm-hmm.
You're one step closer because you tried
Mm-hmm.
and you went for it. You had the Delulu. You went for it anyways. And you know what? You learned stuff along the way. So you didn't lose. Yeah, you failed. You didn't lose
Yeah,
because
but
you
what did you
learned so
learn?
much
Yeah.
through that
Mm-hmm.
experience. And
Yeah.
Don't be
at the
afraid
end of
to
our
be
lives,
seen
anyways,
trying.
that's literally what this is all about is
Yeah.
experiencing things.
Mm-hmm.
What like the way that we move on, even past our time on this planet, is our stories, our experience that we tell, that we
Mm-hmm.
share with our family, the legacies that we build. And the legacy moves on through stories.
Mm-hmm.
So just fucking do it. Just
Mm-hmm.
go for it. Make the
Don't be
first step.
afraid to be seen trying. And I'm telling this to myself. Don't be afraid to be seen trying.
Yeah.
Because if anyone says anything to you that's negative, they're certainly not doing more than you.
Yeah. Well, also, and it's like, don't be afraid to be seen trying because it's either you try or you stay stuck where you're at. Like, there's literally one choice or the other. It's like, and it's once you can just like learn that, it's like I can either be miserable in my own depression, in my own poorness, in my own broke reality. Like, I can be miserable and literally just swim in a pool of like sadness, or I can get up and like learn how to swim out of there and learn how to like actually do the thing and get out into whatever, the sun. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's two ways that you can go. And it's like you can choose because it is a choice to be broke. It is a choice to be sad. It is a choice to be depressed. It's a choice. No matter how you feel about it, you're choosing that because you're listening to whatever your brain is telling you. You're listening to whatever environment you're putting yourself in. Like you're choosing that. So, like, what happens if you were to just choose the opposite thing? Right? Like, what happens if you were to just choose, like, today I'm actually going to be happy? Like, who am I committed to being today? Am I committed to being a depressed, lazy, like sloppy being, or am I committed to being, happy and loving and inspiring and whatever it is? Like, ask yourself that question in the morning. If you feel like you need change in your life, who am I committed to being today? And take it day by day. Because if you can answer that question, every single choice that comes after that will be like, okay, is this who I'm committed to being today? I'm flicking somebody off who just cut me off into the road. Like, am I
Yeah.
committed to being an asshole on the road? Or am I committed to being like, God bless you. You just are in a rush. No worries. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, it's so amazingly normal.
And
All right,
do
ladies, I
I
think
want to
on
like,
time,
yeah,
that's a wrap for
I want
today.
to end on this note because I heard it this morning and I was like, oh man, that's yeah. And it's like the only way that you lose is by being indecisive.
Mm,
That's how you stay stuck. It's not about doing the thing and then failing or doing the thing and succeeding. It's not making the choice to do it, period.
mm,
And that I know it is absolutely linked with a bunch of mental health challenges. Depression is inaction. That is the literal death of us
yeah.
in being indecisive and not taking any action in any direction.
Hmm. And I
Um,
want to be clear too, like when I said earlier, being depressed is selfish, I don't mean that ill intently. And I don't think you girls took it that way, but
no, not
you
at all.
know, it's so cool the way that I'm able to look at it now and be like, wow, I really was just focusing on myself. Like, you know, and if you can look at it, like if you are having signs of depression or feeling depressed or feeling unmotivated, like what are you focusing on? Is it you? And is it the things that you don't have? Because if that's what it is, then that's why you're depressed. Like, because that's the only thing that you're focused on. You're literally like sunglasses on, like blinders up to everything. And I love this. Myron Golden again just like points it out in the Bible. Like Adam and Eve, when they were here, God was like, here's this garden. I'm going to give you all the trees in the world, all the like plants in the world, everything you can eat from, all the fruit, right? And you just can't touch this one tree. And, the serpent was like, hey, like, he said you can't touch this one tree. Like, why can't you have this one tree? You can't have this one tree. Like, this is the one thing you're lacking, like, but you have all this abundance around you and you're lacking this one tree. Like, how about you go touch that one tree? That's literally us. It's like, I don't have money. I don't have, like, it's like we've got all this abundance around us. We have this forest of abundance and we're focused on this one tree. Like, why don't we just, like, hold on, wait a minute, turn around, So, yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And I do want to just give like our viewers, listeners, like some actionable steps
Mm,
because like hearing this, I'm sure you'll get some nuggets and whatever, but we'll put it in the show notes, but just like a couple of maybe some like journal prompts um just to really, kind of go over the things that we talked about in this episode, but yeah, just some questions to really reflect on and ask yourself. And something that for me I did was write a letter to money as if it were a person. And afterwards I read it and then I burn it.
mm,
And that was very powerful for me. And so it's kind of like you're writing it all down and then you're leaving it, because from this moment on, you are stepping into a new version of yourself, the
mm.
2.0 version of yourself. And what that looks like is nothing of your past. Do not let your past dictate your future, because
And ooh,
whatever you did there, whatever you learned, it does not have to determine your future. Your circumstance is not your life sentence.
And I have to tag on this because I just heard you say this and it reminded me, like, if you are feeling these feelings of I am not worthy, I am not like deserving, whatever, and it may not look like that form, or it's like I can't do that. I'm like that's not possible. That's not this. Right, I encourage you, this is another homework assignment. Write down your limiting beliefs. Literally write down in your exact words how it would come out. If I were to ask you the question, hey, do you want to invest in this network marketing company where you could potentially make millions of dollars, never have to work again in your life? What initially comes up? Like limiting belief wise, please tell me. And then write that down and look at it, literally look at it and then burn it because and or pray on it because it's literally equivalent to giving it away. You are taking those things, making them physical because when you choose to like keep those things in and say you didn't write them in or you didn't write them down or you didn't pray about it and like seriously sit and meditate on those things that you feel are like not of alignment with you, then you're shoving them down. And it's literally equivalent to locking a kid in a room when it's screaming and crying and saying you have to stay in there, you can't come out. And it's like those feelings are going to stay there regardless and they're always going to be there until you literally like let them out, write them out, pray them out, speak them out loud and be like, is this true or is this not true? Okay, like, so that just like, oh, it was burning because my mentor said that. He was like, I have a hate journal. Like I have a hate journal. And I will literally write down, I fucking hate blah, 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 blah. And it's like he writes down all of his like intrusive thoughts of like I can't do this, I'm a failure, I'm this, I'm not deserved. And it's literally like he was like I will burn it and be like and it's a release because you're writing it down, you're getting it out of your system, you're not shoving it down,
I like
so
that.
big.
Love it.
So anyways,